What is going on, everybody? My name is Conor Lawler. Welcome to another week of Movie Mondays. This is the Here's Fire podcast, and we are back again talking all the week's movie news, entertainment news, and just generally having a bit of a chit-chat about all things film. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Mr. Sean Meehan. Sean, how's it going?
I'm good. I forgot to think of a bit for the intro.
but normally your bits are always so good, Sean.
They're normally
How
flawless.
will we ever go on?
Highlight of the episode, some people say.
Some would say that you just fill gaps instead of just going into the first news story. What would you say to that?
I would say that, look, all gaps need a filler. And here I am.
Oh, God.
Just
somehow that sounded creepy.
No.
All gaps need a filler, lads.
If this podcast is a landfill, I am just a pile of trash.
Yes, if ever there was a review that I would put on our iTunes, it is that review.
If you are listening on iTunes, we would appreciate a rating and a review.
Maybe just even the landfill comment. You can do that if you want.
Still do the 5 stars, though.
No, 3. Make it mediocre and then a landfill comment. Really confuse everyone. Does he think it's mediocre? Does he think it's shit? Who knows? So this is Movie Mondays. We just give you a bit of a rundown about all the week's movie news, as I've already previously said. Sean has not really been filled in on this, but we kind of just give a chit chat. We're not experts on anything, Sean. You said you were the smartest man alive once, and I've held you to that ever since. So I just give you the news and see what you say.
I have not let you down. I have always delivered on being the smartest man alive.
Please review for 3 stars. One of you is a liar. Okay, so also we should mention, Sean, we are not in the same room right now as we record this. So I mean, like I could be saying something hilarious, and like your banter just won't be able to keep up with me, which is normal, I know. But you know what I mean?
Nice, very nice.
Fucking burn, fucking got him, dickhead.
We had a terrible falling out, and so now we can't be in the same room together. But the show must go on.
I've lost my legs.
I found them.
Yeah, and beat me with them.
In the landfill.
It's all linking together. We are starting this week, Sean. We're somewhere where I would be excited to start, and that is Warner Brothers. Everyone knows
the old WB. That's what I interrupted you for.
Well, look, as long as we got that out of the way. Yes, Warner Brothers are our first news story, and this is actually to do with a certain Batgirl, Sean. Now, what do you know about the Batgirl movie that they have been trying to get off the ground for the last few years?
Okay, wasn't there... I think was Joss Whedon attached to it at one point or another?
He was indeed.
Oh, was there something about... I remember like a script was released, and it might have been for Batgirl or it might have been for Joss Whedon's Wonder Woman. I think it was the Wonder Woman one.
I think you were thinking of Wonder Woman, because I think the story with Joss Whedon was that he said he'd go work on the script, and do you remember he was going to step away, but his excuse was that, my script just wasn't good enough?
Yeah, that was it. And
yeah,
it's been dead in the water, but also it's what's that phrase? It's development hell, where it's always being worked on, but no one's actually doing anything.
Yeah, it was tucked in developmental hell. So Joss Whedon has officially stepped away because, well, I think the way I seen it was that Justice League came out. And it was on obviously a wave of momentum, Sean. Everybody loved Justice League. Everyone said it was the best movie ever.
They couldn't build cinemas fast enough to show it.
So, unfortunately, a side effect of Justice League was that people began to be a little critical. I know this is going to be surprising.
No.
Be a little critical of the DCEU and the direction they were going in. And then Joss Whedon was hired as the Batgirl director, and there was a bit of an uproar because people said, why can't you just hire a female director? I mean, you've hired nothing but males and it's worked out so well so far.
Yeah, and a bunch of stuff came out about Joss Whedon at that time.
True story. So, Joss Whedon did officially step away. Now it has come out that the Bumblebee writer, Christina Hodson, has been tasked with penning the script. I think we covered that a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And what happened was, normally if they're writing the script, they're just kind of writing in the background. We don't hear anything about it again for another few months. Well, the news I have is that according to Heroic Hollywood, Warner Bros. Are now actively seeking a director for the film, in basically saying this is their number one priority to get Batgirl at the top of the studio's list for the next film to be put into motion.
Okay. And will this tie in with Robert Pattinson's The Batman?
See, this is very interesting because I've always assumed that Batgirl came long after Batman was already established, not in a that she's worse kind of way, but the idea is that Batman is like mid-30s, and then he brings in Nightwing and Batgirl, who's Barbara Gordon and Jim Gordon's daughter, and they're kind of a lot younger. Now, recently they did an animated movie of The Killing Joke, and her and Batman get together, and that's really weird.
It's very odd to watch. It's like unsettling.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's like father and daughter, kind of. That's the vibe I normally get from them while reading them.
That's a lot of their dynamic.
Yeah, so when I seen it in that film, I was kind of like, this is not right.
And it was
stop.
I'm taking it. We're taking a little detour here, but that was a completely unnecessary addition to that.
Now, I'm a man who loves Batman the Animated Series. You know this. But
I do.
I'm pretty positive either Bruce Timm or Paul Dini was working on that movie, and one of them was obsessed with getting Batgirl and Batman together. And I don't know which one it is, but one of them's getting creepy. I'm very confused.
And I'm very weirded out. So I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah. See, no, I'm only bringing this up because you mentioned the Robert Pattinson thing. But if you have a Batgirl, Batman's... If he's Robert Pattinson, we have to assume he's only in the first few years of his caped crusade, as you will, Sean.
Very good, Connor.
Thank you. I read it on the back of a stamp. Oh, yes. Oh, here we go. So, I think this Batgirl, it probably does need to be in that same universe, but you probably should wait, like, a little bit after Batman comes out for this to be out. But if this is top of the studio's list... Like, this is, again, this could come out the year right after Batman. So, what does this all mean, Sean? Break it down for me.
Look, I'm trying to think about this in a way that would make sense, and I would be okay with... say the Batman comes out first. That tells the story of how Bruce Wayne becomes Batman.
Oh, we're forgetting Birds of Prey. Not to cut you off, but for Birds of Prey is, of course, coming out with all of the female characters. So that would be a way to introduce her, if they wanted to do that.
Oh, as in maybe she... Okay. So maybe you could work at that. Batman and the Birds of Prey exist at the same time. And then whoever becomes Batgirl doesn't... Like, she takes inspiration from Batman, but her real heroes are the Birds of Prey. Maybe that kind of a deal.
Okay. Yeah, you could do that.
Like, I would be okay with kind of her finding her feet as a superhero, and then Batman turns up at the end.
Yeah, but you don't want him to turn up at the end to save her in the grand finale. You mean like after she has saved the world, he turns up.
Yeah, and he's like, I was keeping an eye on you, or something.
Yeah, keeping an eye on you. You're doing good work. You're doing good work. I'll bring
Tony
you in.
Stark does with Peter Parker.
Yeah, the exact same.
Just make Spider-Man Homecoming.
Just make it again. Tom Holland has a wide range as an actor, and I think Barbara Gordon could be next on his list.
Oh, I think he could do it. I think he could kiss Robert Pattinson.
Mr. Wayne.
Oh God. Oh no.
Oh, he's back. Mr. Wayne, I love you. Oh, there's Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I was going to say, why does he sound like a toy with a string on his back?
Sometimes, Tom, he just sounds weird. Tom Holland is here, he does a weird impression of himself. Don't get me started. Actually, newer listeners, they might not know of the very early days when I used to do a Tom Holland impression. How long ago was that?
You definitely did it episode 1, because you said to me beforehand, Sean, this is a thing I want to get going.
Yeah, I specifically wrote it down. This is our niche. We need to be known as the podcast where one guy does a very bad impression of Tom Holland.
And the other is the smartest man in the world.
Yeah, and that, folks, is where we meet in the middle. So, Warner Brothers, Batgirl, Sean, is this a good idea? Should they give this a little bit of a weight? They have Batwoman, the TV series, going on right now. So, I mean, will this just confuse people with Batwoman and Batgirl?
Oh, that's a good question. See, I think people have... If someone's a big fan of the CW series, I think... That's not really... they're going to get it. They're going to understand what it is. But I think there will be a lot of... when the casting comes out, there'll be a lot of comparisons between whoever they cast for Batgirl and Ruby Rose.
Are we assuming that this Batgirl is Barbara Gordon? That's a whole other situation that they could open up a can of worms.
Yeah, now that's... I think, like, that... It sounds bad to say, but Barbara Gordon is the easy one to adapt. Because otherwise you're introducing a whole host of other characters and backstories that require Batman to have gone through certain things.
And even Cassandra Cain, who would have been Batgirl, and she's in Birds of Prey, but... her situation is that Batgirl brings her in. We did a Hero Zero on Cassandra Cain like 2 weeks ago. If none of this is making any sense to you, it didn't make any sense to us as well, but I mean, we did a Hero Zero. What can you do? I think you have to go Barbara Gordon, just as... I know it's easy, but at the same time, sometimes the most obvious option could be the right one.
Yeah, don't reinvent the wheel with it. Like, those characters are popular for a reason. So if you can adapt them in a way that makes sense.
I think they've been going really well so far, Sean. I think the DCEU need to keep going, stretching out. Don't follow the comic books. Nobody likes the comic books. No. Batman uses a machine gun and a bazooka, right? That's
Kids
where we all love
guns. Just look at Fortnite.
And if Batman flosses while shooting some bitches up, I mean, everybody's happy. Like, Jesus.
Could you imagine the tears? Could you imagine the nerd tears if that happened?
I would be crying. The worst thing I've ever seen. Oh,
and I just imagined it.
I just feel dirty even just thinking about that. I think Robert Pattinson as Batman, I think it's very good to introduce Batgirl, but I don't like her as like Batman light. She needs to be her own thing. And that includes you go as far away from Batman as possible in terms of she takes inspiration, but she isn't just trying to impress him all the time. Yeah,
like she has her own goals, and the Bat seems an effective like image to use.
Yeah. And definitely don't make them romantic partners in any way.
No, I demand that.
55-minute sex scene, real graphic.
60-minute movie.
First 5 minutes flossing and guns. That's all I want, lads. Right? If I don't get that, I'm walking out. I'm giving you I'm going on Rotten Tomatoes tomorrow, and we are going to make this movie tank.
It's not even written.
No, I'll fucking come for you, right? I'm serious. So yeah, Batgirl, it's gone number 1 on the studio's list, which I find fascinating. Not to go back into it, but it is unique that they're doing Batgirl instead of a Nightwing movie, or they haven't even done a Batman movie yet.
No, and The Flash is apparently happening.
And The Flash was in Justice League, and he doesn't have a movie until 2025. So I don't know.
Like, it does. We've talked about this, that their priorities are just a bit out of whack.
They want to do the female character, which is great. Female hero. They have Wonder Woman, and it went really well. But they also want to have the Bat name on it. So it's a weird amalgamation of, like, we get to do that hero that, like, could be really great, and we could do this really well, but then we also have the Batman, so it gets people in immediately. But there's loads of female heroes that they could do instead.
Yeah, do you think they've taken the wrong lesson from Wonder Woman in that they should only make... No, okay, I won't say the wrong lesson, but in that they are just aiming at female superheroes right now.
I don't think so. No, I don't. I think if they only have one, so I wouldn't
think
say
it's PC
like
gone mad?
I don't want to be a sci-boy here, Sean, but like, no, I would say that I would like to see a Black Canary movie, or like Black Canary and Hunters are in the Birds of Prey movie, but I would much rather to see one of them in a solo movie rather than Batgirl first.
Right. Okay, yeah. So you hate Barbara Gordon is what you're saying.
Look, I'm the science boy around, Sean. I couldn't hate anybody. You know what I mean?
Just myself.
Oh God, what have I become? Aren't I normally the fake sexist? What the fuck's up with this?
I don't know. We flipped.
Oh no, I don't like it. You're meant to be the nice one. Okay. We're moving on to our next piece of news. This is about G.I. Joe, Sean.
G.I. Joseph.
G.I. Joseph, as he's known by his friends.
And family. Everyone calls him G.I. Joseph. It's only us that call him the wrong name.
So before this started, me and Sean normally have a conversation, say like, what do you know about this? Like, what can we bring to the table here? What's some of our ideas? But I mentioned that we would be doing a news story on G.I. Joe. I don't tell Sean what we're going to be talking about. I'm just going, have you seen this? Have you seen this? G.I. Joe, you said, I've seen the first one. And I said, I've seen the second one. So we've basically seen both movies.
Yeah, cumulatively, we're sorted.
Yeah. We're sorted here. So I seen the second one in cinemas, and this is one of my weird stories of Connor went to see a movie just because he went to the cinema every week and he just seen all the trash.
Yeah, you got no good movies. You just had like that 8-week window where it's all piss.
Yeah, it was all just like Terminator Genesis, Ted 2, G.I. Joe 2, just all the classics.
The best ones.
So the news I have on G.I. Joe is that there's a new G.I. Joe spin-off movie in the works at Paramount. Sean, are we excited about this? G.I. Joe could be coming back. They didn't do it right the first time. I think this time they could do it right.
I mean, it's just an ad for G.I. Joe, really, isn't it? Like
I
the
disagree.
toy line.
No matter what you said there, I was just going to be like, I disagree. I don't think you're right.
But like, these films aren't. And I mean that like people worked hard on them. They're fine movies. I enjoyed the first one while I was watching it, but it's just general like soldiers going to get a thing. It's that kind of movie.
Yeah, there's an item that they need to save the world, and they all have to go to a certain area.
Yeah, and there's like scientific explanations, and then someone says English, please. You know.
Exactly. Someone's like, what's going on? And they're just like, they've got fucking rays, like they've got those space rays, you know, and they're just bouncing off all the walls, and you know, and like they use the accumulative like message of the numbers, you know what I mean?
Oh,
English,
yeah.
Please.
And then they have a facial scanning software, and for some reason it's more efficient to scan through every face that's not the one you're looking for.
All the cliches are there. If you can tell me when the first G.I. Joe movie came out of this new remake, I will give you $3 billion.
2009.
Okay, look, I said I was gonna, but I've changed my mind.
No.
This script has been turned. Normally you are absolute trash at picking years.
Yeah, but I saw this one, and I could place it in my mind.
Oh, fuck.
Because
what
also,
a weird,
the other
what
fact
a weird
about me
piece of,
is I've seen no movies.
That's true. That is true. You just read the Wikipedia. We all know.
That's the best way to experience content.
That's how I used to read. That's how I used to watch horror movies when I was younger.
Because it was too scary.
Yeah, I was way too scared. So when I was like 15, I was like, I'm just going to read it on Wikipedia, find out who dies, then I can watch and know what's coming up.
I don't know how much it plays into the second one, but at the end of the first G.I. Joe, the bad guy is the president. Like, because the whole thing is about like nanobots, or like micro robot things, and they can change your
Yes.
appearance. And he changes his appearance to be the president of the United States.
See, that all sounds amazing, Sean, and I have seen the second one. But here's the thing. I could not tell you anything that happened in the second one. Not in any way. The Rock
Right.
is it, I think?
I think he is.
Channing Tatum in the first one.
Is Channing Tatum? I think he is. Is he G.I. Joe?
And then he dies in like the first 5 minutes of the second one. That's all I can remember of those movies.
Good God.
Yeah, because they were like, we like Channing Tatum, but The Rock is bigger. So let's use The Rock.
We're looking for the bigger man in the room.
Yeah. So, like, they are now apparently aiming for a 2020 release
That's
for this
soon.
movie.
I mean, I
Yes.
guess, like, just, yeah, you might as well. Because just say, oh, they're looking for nuclear energy or something. What's the generic science fiction goal in Hollywood at the minute? Because for a while it was plutonium. And
Yeah,
then-
there was rays into the sky.
Rays
There's
into
always
the
a
sky.
ray into the sky.
Yeah.
Who
Like-
was?
The Transformers had a cube. Avengers had a cube.
Yeah, it was normally a mother box of some kind. There was always like some MacGuffin that they
Yeah.
had to get.
So I don't know what it is at this point. Maybe
See, it's 2020 could be different. What's the last few superhero movies? They all time travel? I mean, they normally just go off Avengers.
yeah, stones.
Stones of some kind.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's going to be
Just The Rock pointed at a stone. There's one.
brother.
No. Father. Oh, he's crying at The Rock again. Oh no.
I don't know what it could be. Like Spider-Man wanted some glasses or something.
He just wanted to look stylish.
He just couldn't see.
He hated UV rays. That was his only issue.
Oh, blue light, man! It's the new cancer.
That's, oh my god, there's going to be Blue Light Man as the villain here. Jesus.
I can see it being like global warming or something like some device that can
Yeah.
either stop global warming or explode the planet.
Isn't that the plot of Geoforce?
Geostorm.
Geostorm. I do apologize.
Geoforce
No,
is like the rogue Splinter Cell unit in G.I. Joe.
Which one is it? Geostorm.
Geostorm.
Yeah, with what's his name?
Yeah.
Oh boy, Jared Butler.
Jerry B.
Jared Butler's in that. Jerry B's in that. And there's like global warming, and he's created. This is completely off topic, but he has created a machine that can save the world from global warming. And then he goes up to the spaceship, and in the movie, everyone's like, "Who's that guy?" And I was like, if there was a human right now who created a machine to save the planet of global warming, you can bet your fuck he or she would be the most famous person on the fucking planet.
Oh, they
There
would be
no,
like every magazine, every TV show, every web article.
But this guy saves the world, and then he goes up to space, and they're like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I built this ship." And they're like, "I've never heard of you." It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because he's just a regular man. He could be any of us.
He's just Jerry B. In regard to G.I. Joe, they have the writers of Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, which is good.
That was alright,
and the writer of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 2014 to work on an as yet untitled G.I. Joe spin-off movie. So if it's a spin-off movie, G.I. Joe himself will not be in said movie.
G.I. Jane.
G.I. Jane you could do?
Action Man.
Was Action Man was big for us. Was that big all over the world?
I don't know. I had a bunch of Action Man things. I had one that was a scuba diver, and he went in the bath, but he was battery powered, and he would just swim. But he'd hit the wall of the bath, so you'd have to turn him around.
Wow, that really brought a lot to the G.I. Joe talk.
Well, look, when there's a scuba mission in the new G.I. Joe,
and you need a man powered solely by battery, then you look to me. We're moving on to our next piece of news, something that actually could interest us. Now, a few weeks ago, Sean, we talked about Venom 2.
Not interested.
No, okay, fair enough, right. Venom 2, everyone's favourite movie from 2018, Venom 1. Venom 2 was officially going to be coming out, and so they were looking for a director, and a few names were thrown around, and it was rumoured that one Andy Serkis could be in to direct it. Now it has been officially set that Andy Serkis is officially to direct officially. Sean, thoughts on this?
Oh, sounds very official to me.
It all yes.
No, I think this is cool. Like, this is his first run at directing, as far as I know. But
he probably directed some art house films that nobody ever heard of. But in terms of major movie box office, I would say this is his first one.
Yeah, if he's ever directed before, this is the biggest thing he's ever directed.
Yeah,
but I think we said it even on the show when this was a rumour. I'm interested to see this because I think as a director he would work well with someone portraying a digital character. You know?
Yeah, because he has such experience in that area.
Yeah, he knows how to move. He knows how to visualise what isn't there. He's acting against green screen most of the time. So if he can just advise some of that onto Tom Hardy, it would...
Or maybe stop telling Tom Hardy to act like a fucking crazy person during those movies.
Yeah, I don't think that's Tom Hardy's fault.
No, they told him to do that. We're all aware that Tom Hardy is an amazing actor. But I remember watching that movie going, this is a weird direction. I don't know who's telling them to do this, but this is very strange.
But they should stop.
They should not be telling Tom Hardy what to do.
But Andy Serkis doing this, it's something different. And it's a move that I think Venom maybe needed to make. I'm interested to see how he'll pick up the pieces from Venom 1.
Yeah, it would be... It's interesting as, he comes in... Does he know this franchise? Or does he know this character? Where does he want to go with this? Where can you go with a Venom movie when you can't use Spider-Man?
Yeah. You have to lean into the anti-hero type thing. I can see them skipping ahead. Because at the end of Venom, the symbiote is back on my planet, I'm a loser. But here I'm cool, kind of deal.
Yeah, so then there's going to be carnage.
There's going to be so much carnage, you're not going to believe it. But I think that I could see this movie fast-forwarding a year, and they've learned to live in harmony. In the comics, Venom eats chocolate instead of people. And shit like that.
Yeah, because he eats a load of people's heads in the last one.
Yeah, which I think is bad for the brand of hero.
I think it's bad for the brand, but also there's a scene where he eats somebody's head. I'm talking Venom, and then it turns back into Tom Hardy, and Tom Hardy is chewing. So is Tom Hardy a cannibal?
He certainly knows what humans taste like.
I would say they're the same thing.
Yeah, you're probably right.
If you know what humans taste like, I think you've gone one step too far.
No,
I think you need to rein that right back in.
What if science made human flavour?
Why would you want to eat that?
Because you don't want to eat actual humans, but you're curious.
Serkis is, of course, renowned for his various motion capture, as we said, his performance roles. He's been in The Lord of the Rings. He's been in The Planet of the Apes. He's been in Black Panther. He was amazing in Black Panther.
He was great in Black Panther.
He wasn't motion capture in that, but, I mean, they were capturing his motions.
His arm had a thing.
Actually, he never gets away from it, does he?
No.
He never does.
Maybe it's in his contract.
It could be. Maybe he's just into that. Maybe he's just weirdly into it. So yeah, Andy Serkis could bring... I think he brings, as you said, it's something different, but also name value to a franchise I don't think people are very excited about.
No, because the last one made a lot of money, but it was also just kind of meh. Wasn't a great movie.
Yeah.
So I think
I think the last one made a lot of money. I think the last one made a lot of money because people were intrigued about what it was going to be. Whereas I think this time people kind of know, and I think it might make less money unless they use Andy Serkis in the right way to like get it up another few notches.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I fully expect this to not do as well as the first Venom, just out of the gate.
I think you wanted not to do it as well. I think you're a hater.
I'm not a hater. I'm a liker. I like good things.
Yeah, and we don't like Venom. It made nearly $900 million.
Jesus.
I always say that like, fucking hell. Jesus Christ.
Like, that's too much money for that movie.
It nearly made $1 billion. I mean, you gave it another few weeks in the box office. Oh, you could have been raking in the money.
They'll re-release it with bonus scenes.
Absolutely. Bonus scenes of Tom Hardy just sweating in a bathroom. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, it's a pretty grim movie.
Yeah. Okay, we're moving on to our next piece of news, and that is Disney are planning more Planet of the Apes movies, Sean. That's right, I Andy Serkis 1-2'd ya, because Planet of the Apes, there's more movies coming. What are the names of the last 3 Planet of the Apes movies?
We got oh shit, right out of the gate. We've got Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
We got Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And you got
Yes.
War for the Planet of the Apes.
That is excellent. You are nailing my quizzes today. I'm just trying to catch you off guard, but because normally I just know to associate all 3 of them. I'm just like Planet of the Dawn of the Apes of the War. I don't know what the fuck they're called.
Rise of the Dawn of the War of the Planet of the Apes.
Yes, Matt Reeves was of course directing them. He's the director of the Batman movie. But they're now saying that they're going to try to reboot the Planet of the Apes movies again, Sean.
Reboot
It's only been
them?
a few years. Sorry, continue making them in regards to the Planet of the Apes. How far can you go with this? I thought it was like a trilogy that was actually very good. It was a pretty great trilogy, I thought.
It was
How
great.
do you move on from there?
I mean, look, Planet of the Apes has a long-standing history of going on longer than anyone wanted it to. Because the originals back in the day, there's like 8 of them. And there's more books.
Yes. Yeah.
And the quality goes down and down and down.
Well, look, don't talk to the Police Academy because they went up, but everywhere else, once you get past 7, actually no, the Fast and Furious, oh wait here, maybe Planet of the Apes is the outlier. Maybe that's the only one that went bad.
What about Star Wars?
Oh, no, don't get me, I don't want to fight Star Wars. They're too big.
They're too big.
They're too big.
Look, I really like those other movies. I watched the first one in the cinemas, and then the other 2 on like streaming. And
Yeah.
I enjoyed it as much streaming as I did in the cinema. I think it's just that kind of movie. But there's nothing wrong with them.
No, we're not saying they're bad now. I thought they were really good. Like the Matt Reeves ones especially, I find very good.
Yeah.
Probably not the first one. The last 2 and 3 are really good. James Franco, the first one, is grand.
John Lithgow's amazing in that.
Yes, he is. So, like, I think there's probably... It's a dangerous road because is there no water left in this fucking towel that they're squeezing?
Well,
they're squeezing the life out of.
At the end of the most recent Planet of the Apes film. Like Spoilers. The apes are the only ones left, and they've gone to like a safe haven.
That's why I said, how do you go from there?
I mean, look, unless you segue into what the original Planet of the Apes was, which was astronauts who were sent into Earth before the ape outbreak, and then they come back and they think they're on a different planet, but it was Earth all along.
Oh, this is our planet.
Oh no! Yeah, that kind of.
That's Homer Simpson looking at the Statue of Liberty. Yeah. Oh no!
So I think, like, they might be leading up to that, which, I guess, yeah. Why not?
I mean, yeah, maybe you just reverse the time where he just comes back to, yeah, as you said, like you go back to the 60s, but it's filmed now? Maybe?
So you could they've started at the outbreak in this series, and then they're working around to the Planet of the Apes. Whereas in the original ones, they started at the Planet of the Apes, and then you learn what happened.
Oh, it's all going to be turned on its head.
But will it lose the effect?
No, I think I'll be spoiled, or I'll be surprised all over again. I think I will be as shocked this time as I was the last time when I was definitely not alive.
But here's the thing as well, though. Sorry, and I know I keep cutting across you, but...
No, please, shut the fuck up. What?
In the first Planet of the Apes movie, there's a shit ton of like in Rise of the Planet of the Apes, there's a shit ton of references to Planet of the Apes.
No, it didn't happen, Sean.
What?
It didn't happen. Sorry.
Oh, okay, sorry, my mistake.
All you need to do is just forget, and then we're fine.
Then every movie's a new movie.
Exactly. What if, I've thought of it, you just, like, not reboot this, the next sequel could be Planet of the Apes, doesn't have to have like a hyphen or something, it just has Planet of the Apes, and as you said, in the last movie it ends with the apes having taken over. The camera comes in and we just see the apes in their natural habitat just going about their daily lives, and then David Attenborough's voice comes over as a narrator.
So you just want a nature documentary?
I'm thinking full on nature documentary, Planet of the Apes. Don't even mention any humans, they're dead. That's fine.
Don't address the plot of the previous films.
No, absolutely not.
Because Caesar's dead.
Yeah, but Dave Attenborough's alive in this universe, so we bring him into some sort of studio.
He'd never go for that.
He's held hostage by the apes. Narrate, go on.
Go on, do it.
Go on, do it. Oh man. Yeah, Planet of the Apes, they are going to be promising more movies. I don't think people are as excited. I think this has a fan base.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's as big as they think it is.
No,
I don't think it's as big as they... No, I don't think so. Like, I think it could be good, but at the same time, there's also the argument of maybe if you did it well the first time, just leave it.
Leave it well enough alone.
Yeah, like you might just tarnish the first few by keep bringing them out.
Like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, like don't get me started. Oh god, you know the worst season of Game of Thrones? All of them, they're all trash. Sean. That's what I'm saying.
Oh my god, it's a bold claim.
Especially season 4. It really picked up in that last season.
Just when it was getting good, they ended.
I was like, I'm so excited. Damn it. Okay, we're moving on to our next piece of news, and that is the Russo brothers.
Them
lads, as they're more commonly known. They are probably the biggest directors in Hollywood at the minute, would you say?
I'd say so.
Fresh off directing Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War and Captain America Civil War and Captain America Winter Soldier
and Arrested Development.
And that's Arrested Development. That's a pretty strong foursome. But they now are stepping away from Marvel. They said they need a rest, which is fair enough.
We said we are so tired.
You would be though. Like, you just would be.
Yeah, and then they fell asleep mid-interview.
Exactly. Nyum, 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 nyum. Just like Z's. Just coming across. But they have now said, people are always asking them, like, what movie would you come back for though? Like, what movie would you come back
for? Lads, seriously though, what movie would you come back for?
Like, I know you're retired, but what movie would you come back for? Like, what movie would you come back for? Like, just if you had to pick one. Just anyone. And like really fun interviews were just like randomly just like, oh, if you had to pick a character, just really chill, and then when they answer every newspaper the next day, Russo's want to direct this.
Yeah.
One of those news stories I have right now, because it is rumoured that Russo's are the most interested in directing one superhero, but he's not yet in the MCU, Sean. This one superhero? Wolverine. That is right. The Russos are interested in directing a Wolverine movie, as Fox have been recently bought by Disney, everyone knows. That means that the once everyone's favourite Wolverine, maybe huge jacked man,
there's an idea.
They'll be coming over to Marvel and Disney, and they now own them. So, the Russos, Marvel's basically golden boys, and you've got Wolverine, who's like the shining light of the Fox series. Stick them together, Sean. At the same time, I'm just going to throw one wrench in the works before I throw it to you. Logan.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. Sean, have the floor.
I don't think you can make a much better Wolverine movie than Logan.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one, because we both watch a channel on YouTube called Captain Midnight, and he put out a video about where the MCU should go with the X-Men, and one of his main points is don't make Wolverine the star.
Yes.
Because he works better when he's bouncing off a team.
He's literally meant to be a loader. That's his thing.
Yeah, and he'll, like, he what is it? Like, he'll make fun of Cyclops, but like, he knows that Cyclops is right as the leader, and he respects that he couldn't be that leader. You know?
And I think they were trying to do that a little bit in, say, X-Men 1, because I don't think he wants to be the leader, but the problem is you have this guy who they just keep putting in the light of, like, he's so cool and he doesn't work well with authority, and he always somehow gets out of situation and wins.
Yeah.
And then they just made Cyclops a little bitch boy.
That's it. And like, Wolverine is the protagonist of those movies. Like, it's
absolutely,
it's all him.
Even Days of Future Past or something, like, that movie is still him. That is 15 years down the line and they're still relying on huge jacked man.
Yeah, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, in the Days of Future Past, like, I don't know. I guess it's because if you have Hugh Jackman just proved to be supremely popular as Wolverine.
Oh, and like, he's amazing in the role.
Yeah, and for a guy that when it was
movie
announced, the internet hated him.
Yeah, and I don't even... Did the internet even exist back then, Sean?
Well, it was, 1999?
Yeah.
Message boards were a thing. GeoCities?
Of course. But, like, I think we are aware Hugh Jackman is an amazing piece of casting. It's the idea that maybe you'd have an even better movie if you made... Okay, we've made Wolverine really cool. Now, what if we make Cyclops and Jean Grey really cool? Then we have triple the amount of people that people like, rather than just relying on one.
Yeah, like, it'd be like if every MCU movie centered around Captain America. You know, which, you know, he's in a lot of them. But every character has their own time to shine. And
some people would have said, like, Iron Man, all those movies revolve around Iron Man, but then Civil War doesn't make any sense, because we actually see that from Captain America's point of view. So, like, as I said, like, Civil War would not exist unless Marvel looked at that and said, we don't just need Iron Man, we need to build up other people as well, because then when we bring them all together, it's even cooler. Rather than just, it's Iron Man and his friends. Which kind of the X-Men became.
Yeah, but like, in comics, if you're in New York, you can go and see Reed Richards. Or you can go and meet with Doctor Strange. But you don't see every Spider-Man story being told from Doctor Strange's perspective, if you get me.
No. So I think... what do you think of the Russos directing Wolverine, though?
If you want to get good faith behind, like, the new run of Mutants movies, Russo brothers are a safe bet. Because I think people just trust them. That's a very good point.
I think they could be the best kickstart you have for this universe.
Yeah, and they can be the fixers. Like, you just need a good start, and then someone else can take the reins, and you just get the Russos in for one movie. and you're good.
And because they have that thing called clout, which the kids are calling it. I don't know what clout means, but apparently it means you're doing something good.
Yeah, it does. It means like you can throw your weight around a bit, you know.
And they have like people trust them. So like the studio, Disney are more than willing. First of all, Marvel specifically would die to bring the Russos back. Like you can bet your bottom dollar everyone did a studio somewhere pitching them ideas.
Yeah, and just they're dying for them. Like they'll do anything because they made him nearly $3 billion
by themselves
on one movie. Like Lifetime, it's like $5 billion.
Okay, so hang on. If they made $3 billion for like 2.9 or whatever for Avengers Endgame, they made 2.2. Or was it what? 2? At least 2 anyway for Avengers Infinity War. So you're already at 5, nearly 4.9. Then you have Civil War, and then you have Captain America: Winter Soldier. That is what they say. Lots of money.
That's nearly too much money.
Too much money. That's nearly as much money as I have, Sean. Nearly. Now it's hard to talk with all these diamonds on my hands. Is that what rich people say? Yeah. Thank you to all of our patrons. $5 gets me some diamonds. Yeah, so we're moving on to our next piece of news. It's more Disney news, Sean.
Thank God. Tell me about the mouse.
I actually am finishing off on a triple punch here. People say we're Disney shills. I say, please buy me more diamonds. So Disney reportedly are debating an R-rated MCU Deadpool movies and then PG-13 team-ups. So apparently in the Disney studios right now, they have Deadpool on the books. There's a massive debate going on that how to work seamlessly between an R-rated Deadpool solo movies and the PG-13 team-ups in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This could pose some problems due to the fact that if he's going around fucking and shitting and like showing his little child take off when it gets chopped off, how is that going to work when he comes into the Captain Americas or into the Avengers situation? Sean, this is tricky.
It is tricky, but they've done this. Like they released a PG-13 Deadpool cut. Like,
did anyone watch it though?
That's the thing. See, it was just the same story, really. But
yeah,
if Deadpool will make sense in any situation if you write it that he knows he's in that situation. If you write him as PG-13, he will have a laugh at being PG-13. Like you've watched The Good Place, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah, it will be that kind of thing. It'll be holy shirt or fudge that, you know?
Or you could even have a situation where he is trying to curse and people keep interrupting him.
Yeah, and then it's funny.
Yeah.
And he can say like, I want to be back in my own movie or something like that.
Yeah. I think there's a scene in the animated show. Like Deadpool appears in, I think it's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And you can't say kill on comic or on cartoons, like on Cartoon Network or whatever. So they had him saying, "I'm going to unalive him." Spider-Man keeps going like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I'm going to unalive him." Well, I don't understand why you don't get what I'm saying here. I'm going to unalive him with my big swords.
Yeah, so like, and that fits with the character. So why wouldn't you do that? And
yeah,
he makes
then
a bunch of money.
Exactly. And this is also saying if you get Ryan Reynolds in the movie, then you're going to make a lot of money. People like Ryan Reynolds a lot.
Oh, they have to keep him, don't they?
But Ryan Reynolds in the MCU, like that is very powerful. Like you're just bringing in, like I know with the X-Men thing they brought them all in, but I think Ryan Reynolds has the most star power of everyone there. So that's like a major take.
Yeah, and they've set the precedent that they can reuse actors with J.K. Simmons.
Yes.
You know, like just because they were a different company doesn't mean that they're opposed to the actors coming back.
So you're saying like Deadpool R-rated, just keep that with the solo movies, and then with the team-ups, he's aware that he can't go full R-rated.
Yeah, and he can, like, and even the blood and the gore, that'll all be toned down. But I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't decapitate anyone. Maybe there's a scene where he's about to decapitate someone and then goes, oh wait, no, I can't, and then just kicks them in the balls.
Yeah,
something
exactly.
stupid.
Exactly, you've done it there.
Hire me, Marvel, thank you very much. We've done it again. Okay, we're finishing off this week's Movie Monday, Sean, with more Disney. So more Disney. They're all over the news this week. They're just slowly. Some weeks we just get this where Disney will have nothing, and then some weeks they'll release like 4 or 5 stories in 1 week just to stay a bit fresh,
just to fuck
in people's
with
heads, just to fuck with us. So Disney Plus.
That.
We're finishing on this week because Disney Plus is the streaming service that they're launching. Everyone loves streaming services, Sean. I can't get enough of them. I want more money to be taken.
Yeah, please. Take all of my money, internet.
So Disney Plus is going to be launched, and they're saying that there's going to be there's apparently, I think I read somewhere, like 300 hours of shows and like 40 movies planned, and it's going to have lots of shit. Like, I think they're immediately just going to stack it real high.
They're going to fill it with so much stuff that you can't watch it all in the 2-week free trial.
Exactly. So why we have all of this Disney news is because it was the end of their third quarter of 2019. So the Disney CEO Bob Iger was being called by a load of reporters, and of course they were asking him like lots of questions about Deadpool or about like many of the other things we've talked about today. And so this is where we get all the information about this. So they asked him about Disney Plus, and they said, what will you be what Fox franchises will you be hoping to reboot now that you have them and you have Disney Plus? And he said the 4 that they're looking for. Now, Sean, this is the big news, and I really want to see how you feel about this. What are your favourite Fox franchises? Just before we start, can you even name a Fox franchise other than the superhero stuff?
Other than the superhero Fox movies.
Fantastic Mr. Fox,
Jack Reacher.
Yeah, everyone's favourite, Jack Reacher. No, think worse. Cheaper by the Dozen is the first of the 4.
Christ.
They're rebooting. Night at the Museum.
Those
Diary
aren't
of a
old
Wimpy
movies.
Kid.
What?
And Home Alone. That is right. They are rebooting Home Alone. Sean, give me all your thoughts on this.
We have gone too far. There's no way we can ever come back from this.
I thought you'd be delighted.
This is just what life is now, isn't it?
Cheaper by the Dozen is getting a reboot.
Dude, like, that's not fun. Now, okay, I will allow this on one condition.
Okay, oh Jesus, there's one condition. Okay, go on.
Which in that, instead of Steve Martin playing the dad in Cheaper by the Dozen, you get 30-something-year-old comedian John Mulaney. Because I think he'd have fun with it. And it's just funny to me.
He needs a bit. Let's put him in Cheaper by the Dozen on Disney Plus.
Like, I just think, wouldn't it be fun?
But also, there's no wife. It's never explained how he got 12 kids. He just has them.
Yeah. And it's just him trying to deal with things.
And nobody ever mentions, where's Mom? Nobody's like, oh man, I wish Mom was here. They all just are just like, this is Dad, and none of us know where we came from.
Yeah.
So here we go, guys.
And I want it done like an 80s sitcom. So there's a laugh track, and they're all talking like people don't actually talk.
Just really overacting every scene. I think this could make a lot of money. I think I've turned around on this.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
And okay, Night at the Museum, everyone's favourite movie, Sean. What is your favourite part of the Night at the Museum movies?
Oh, it has to be when Amelia Earhart it falls in love with Ben Stiller, and Ben Stiller falls in love with Amelia Earhart, who's a waxwork. But then when he gets back to his own museum, he finds a long-lost descendant of Amelia Earhart's. And they instantly fall in love.
Wow, that is really deep. That is one of the best parts of those movies, and there are many high parts, but that is the best. Yes, Night at the Museum will be rebooted. I don't know much about Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I think that was after our time. So but we know nothing about that.
But it is massive from what I know. Like, people love that. Kids love that.
But smack bang in the middle of our time, Sean, we have our last of the 4 that I've left till the end. Home Alone has been revealed that he will be rebooting this. Sean, what's Home Alone reboot? Where do you go from here? Is he a straight up serial killer? What's the story?
I will allow this on one condition.
Oh, another one. No, don't say John Mulaney.
That we get 30-year-old comedian.
He only has one idea.
No, okay. But kids are different now than when Home Alone was going on. You know
how so?
Because you back then you had what fucking year was Home Alone? 90s?
93?
Yeah, you had
93?
You had a Sega Mega Drive if you were lucky.
Oh yeah.
You had
wow.
You had a Dreamcast is what you had.
Oh yeah. And very good.
Like, it was just like, every kid, when I watched Home Alone as a kid, I just felt like, oh, I could totally set up those traps. And I would be able to defend my home from robbers. But I feel like, maybe it's me being old, but do kids just play Fortnite too much, or Roblox?
We're very old.
No, but I don't know if that movie is very much a product of its time. They got lucky with the second one, and then it got way worse after that.
Yeah, did they get rid of Macaulay Culkin for the third one?
Yeah, they did. And the third one had a weird plot about there was a computer chip in a car.
No, that's not great. No, you need straight up Joe Pesci getting fucked up.
That's it.
That's the only thing I need.
You just need a house being burgled. That's enough of a danger.
You need 2 guys burgling a house and 1 kid just nearly murdering them, and we all laugh as he sets fire to their faces.
That's another thing. There's no way any of that's going to fly anymore. The lawyers will not allow it. Do you think if that happened? No, I don't think it would be downcast by, say, parents. Maybe parents, but I think the studio would not allow that to go out. Like, Marv stands on a fucking nail, barefooted. Yeah.
And then, like, hops around.
In the second one, he gets electrocuted and you see his skeleton. And then... Doesn't he fall, like, 10 blocks, or 10 feet, or 10 stories? 10 stories.
10 stories from a building, and he just lands on, like, bricks, and then he walks it right off.
And then Macaulay Culkin throws 2 bricks at his head, and they hit him dead on.
From the roof of the building.
Yeah, like those, they reached critical mass, and then the corner of the brick hit him. He's dead.
Like, there's no way his skull is intact. That man, he was made of rubber. Like, there's no way he's still alive.
Like, I can't see them remaking Home Alone in any effective way.
But if it's on Disney Plus, they could do a TV series of Home Alone, which I think would be worse.
That's just child endangerment at that point.
Is it a case of the robbers continuously try to rob this house, and every episode ends with him foiling their plans in some sort of way?
That's a very Disney thing to do.
Yeah.
Get it episodic, get it that you can turn it on and watch any episode and it's fine. But that has to be a Christmas time thing. Because you're not watching Home Alone in the summer.
It's interesting that they chose Home Alone. Because they're, like, maybe we're just more connected to this because, like, I just always think of Home Alone as, oh, that's Christmas. We watch that at Christmas time or whatever.
Yeah, and they're both, like, the 2 originals are set at Christmas.
They are, but, like, maybe it does need to be rebooted, but I think you can't have as we said, the straight up just violence if you did it. And if you're gonna do it, you can't do a tamer version, because a tamer version I don't think is as fun, maybe?
No, and people are gonna slate it for that.
Yeah. I don't know.
If they do a movie, what's going to happen is that the kid is going to be like, he's good. He loves computer games and he's good on the computer.
Of course.
And he sets
You
up.
really
like,
hate Fortnite.
No, it's not a Fortnite thing. It's just he's going to set up like spy cameras and drones and shit like that.
Yeah.
And he's not going to be like, there's no paint cans involved. You know, there's no micro machines that you slip on.
I just want a fucking paint can full of paint to hit a man straight in the face and not kill him.
Just 5 kilos of metal and liquid on a pendulum.
Is it too much to ask that a man's head gets set on fire? Is that too much to ask? That's all I want, lads.
It's not going to work as well, I don't think. I don't know why I got so mad about that.
I don't know why we care this much. Like, we've talked about a lot of things that actually matter, but them doing Home Alone and fucking Disney Plus probably doesn't really matter at all. Cheaper by the dozen, we've already written our own better ones, so it's fine. But Home Alone, we can't even really... Like, it's hard to even imagine what you could do, even in a joke setting.
Yeah.
How you redo this.
And they tried to do it before and it didn't work.
It's one of those. I think it's one of those weird things where everything was perfectly timed, and it's hard to recreate that.
Yeah, I think so.
Unless you get Macaulay Culkin back as the robber.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. He has to be in it, surely.
Oh, absolutely, he would have to be, and he'd take that. He doesn't care. Like, he's really chill.
He has so much money now. He's amazing.
Yeah, he's saved for life, so he's just like, what can you do? And then. If they asked him to just be in a bit part or be in the role, he could be like the father, maybe.
Yeah, I could see that.
Something ridiculous. So yeah, they are going to be rebooting Home Alone on Disney Plus, along with, like, as I said, there's going to be hours and hours and hours of all this footage that they're trying to fill up Disney Plus with, because they now have all the Fox brands as well. So they're just going to throw everything on there.
And maybe something will stick, but we'll see.
Maybe some will stick. Do you have a weekly recommends this week, Sean?
I do have a weekly recommends, actually.
Hit that jingle. Do you know what I mentioned last week was that you forgot to put the jingle in?
Did I?
Yeah, it's the old classic Sean of me going, hit the jingle, and then there's 1 split second of silence, and then we start talking again.
God damn it.
Classic Sean.
Maybe it's funnier that way.
No, it's only funny when you mean it. It's not funny when you accidentally miss it.
Hang on, is this on the show? Are you just telling me this, or is this going in the recording?
I was planning on this being in the show.
Oh, okay, well, it's in the show now.
No, now you have to edit out the bit where you ask me, is this in the show?
Okay, I'll definitely remember to do that.
Fuck's sake. Okay, what's your weekly recommend?
It's a channel called Corridor Digital on YouTube.
Okay.
They have this series. They're VFX artists. They do, like, short films and they teach you how to do visual effects. But they started this series of where they fix visual effects in movies. So they did, like, you know, the Scorpion King, the Rock looking weird like a PS2 character.
He looks awful in that.
He does, but they did it that, like, they took all of the Rock's, like, every picture of his face they could find, and then they mapped that so that it had all of his mouth movements and all of his facial reactions, and they put that on it, and they mess with the lighting and the smoke, and it looks so much better. But that's not the video I want to recommend. They did one recently where they made Marvel R-rated. So,
alright, I think that was suggested to me.
I'd say so. It's been doing the rounds, but it's a scene from Civil War. Do you know where they're... it's Captain America, Falcon, and Scarlet Witch, and they're just wailing on SWAT guys?
Yes.
It's that, but they put in, like, broken bones and blood and decapitations, and it is brutal. Like,
Jesus.
it's very sanitized what we see through Marvel, but they did what it would actually be like.
And wait now, they don't recreate the scenes? Do they use the footage and like edit that footage?
Yeah, they edit it and they add stuff on top of it.
Oh, okay.
But
right.
it's like so you're actually seeing Captain America chop a dude's head off with a shield,
which he would. He's all about that.
All about it. But it's really cool. I'd recommend it.
Okay, my recommendation, I didn't really have one, and I asked you, and I've been trying to think of one, but last night I watched Bridesmaids.
Oh, is that any good?
And yeah, it's pretty good. It's just Chris O'Dowd is in it, and he's looking real well, and he comes across real nice. And the more I watched it, I was like, this man was in the IT crowd.
He was.
What the fuck? That movie came out, when did Bridesmaids come out? Like 2010? 2009?
About then.
So like, the IT crowd was still on TV, right?
Oh, it must have been. Yeah, I think it was.
Because so he had just gone from that into Bridesmaids, and the more I watched it, like, the movie itself is quite funny, like, and Melissa McCarthy's in it. I think that's her first big break. It's classic her. She falls out a lot, then she gets sick. It's great stuff. But yeah, Chris O'Dowd was in it, and the more I watched him, the more I was like, you are in the IT crowd. You are. What is this? You have that. Like, how did he go from I'm disabled to Bridesmaids?
It's a strong leap.
I don't understand. But yeah, Kristen Wiig is also in there, and she's really great. It's a very good cast. John Hamm is in it as well, looking like John Hamm,
a handsome man.
But I'm sure everybody listening to this has seen Bridesmaids. I mean. I'm pretty sure I'm the last of the party.
Well, thank you. Well, Connor, I will give it a watch because I've never seen it.
There is no way in hell you were going to watch that movie. You've never watched anything.
It's true. It's very true.
Do you want to take us out, Sean?
Yes, thanks everyone very much for listening to this episode of Movie Mondays. We'll be back on Wednesday with an episode of Weird News Wednesday, and Friday with an episode of Hero or Zero. Thank you to all our patrons on Patreon who support us. If you would like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Heroes for Hire podcast, or there's a link in the description. We don't do tiers and we don't do rewards for Patreon. It's a way for people to help support the show. So it's nice if you do it, but you're still going to get all the same content if you don't.
And we had Raymond who gave us the idea for Hero Zero this week as well. So if you're a patron, you can give us ideas for Hero Zero, and we will be more likely to listen. That's true.
And if also look after yourself first. Don't worry about us.
Absolutely. Yes.
The best way you can support the show is to tell one human that we exist.
That is our saying.
That is our one saying. We're on all the social media. It's all in the description, and we're also on every podcast platform. If you're on iTunes, we would appreciate a review. It helps get us in front of more ears. So yeah.
And eyes. You could say eyes. People have to look at their phones.
We're always looking at our phones, bloody Fortnite.
On social media, if you ask me.
But I think that's about it for this week.
I looked to the ground by myself in this empty room. I went, and I just started looking at the ground like a crazy person.
It's on brand for you.
I'm glad there's no camera here. So, I've been Conor Lawler.
I've been Sean Mean.
I will see you next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.